I'm a god.
Well, what if there is no tomorrow?
I'm a god.
There wasn't one today.
Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of It's Time to Rewind, a podcast stuck in its own time loop, right along with the movies we discuss. In this season, we're taking a look at Groundhog Day, after day, after day, after day, after day. I'm your host, Bubba Wheat from Flights, Nights, and Movie Nights. In this episode, we're discussing Phil's 15th Groundhog Day that starts at 56 minutes and 29 seconds, with Phil about to get slapped, and ends at 56 minutes and 30 seconds with Phil getting slapped. Oh, good. This one moved into the next second. For a moment, I thought I was getting stuck in my own Groundhog Day here. Even my own cheek is starting to sting a little. And once again, back with us is Jason Soto from Whatever with Jason Soto. Welcome back once again. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm having a hell of a time discussing slaps. I might have to add a slap expert to my resume after this because I've never analyzed so many slaps in my life. So I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah, whenever I came up with the concept for this podcast in general, I knew that there was going to be certain sections that were going to be like this, and I was both, a combination of excited and also not terrified, but kind of dreading these episodes, because, they can be a lot of fun with the right person, but at the same time, it's like, how can you stretch 1 second, not even 1 second of footage in a lot of these, into an entire episode?
All right.
And not only that, but, for this, it's 6 entire episodes that are just 1 second long of Phil getting slapped.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, this is a podcast first. I think. I think you've broke the mold on this. I don't know of any other podcast that would have dare to have whole episodes dedicated to 1 second of footage. So, I think you're even beating out the people who do minute by minute podcasts. So. Yeah, you're beating them, so congratulations. This better win you an award. That's all I gotta say. Because this is groundbreaking right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so in terms of actually analyzing the actual slaps, that because we're still doing that. I'm still taking this seriously.
I love it. You have no idea how much I love this. This is amazing. Yes. I am in for this.
But in this slap, this is actually a repeat of the first slap that kicked off the montage, and it's the two of them. It was just before your spot on the montage. It was actually like the day before that you came on. It was the last day of what I called his date with Rita.
Oh yes.
And that was him getting slapped, and this looks like they're just outside the fence going to the Cherry Street Inn, the bed and breakfast that Phil's staying, and there's this white archway.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems, at least at this point, it seems like he keeps getting slightly earlier and earlier in the date where he's getting slapped.
Yeah, I think that's accurate, yeah. With, a couple exceptions, I think, coming up, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it's he's just messing up earlier and earlier in the night.
Yeah, I explained it earlier. I feel it's, and I don't know why I keep going back to this game, even though, it's for people our age that. It feels like kind of a touchstone of a difficult NES game, but it's like playing Battletoads.
Oh, yes.
And, you'll have one round where you get almost to the end, and then you die and your auto continues, and then you have to start over from the beginning. And then it's you start messing up in earlier stages. It's I never messed up on stage 2. Why am I messing up on stage 2 now? I had that one down.
Yeah. No, I get it exactly. That makes sense. I love that analogy.
And so let's go back and let's rate this slap.
Okay. Yes, I've been loving the rating the slaps. This has been amazing. So this is the fourth one, the third one. Which one are we on? I've been looped so much with you, I can't remember where we're at right now.
This is our fourth slap, and then there was one slap in the previous section.
Okay, yeah, that's right, because we technically did 2 last time, didn't we? So, okay, this one I'm starting to feel a little sorry for him, but at the same time, it's like, what is he doing or saying that's getting this reaction? So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10 because it's at this point he might actually deserve to slap. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 6.
Yeah, see that this is another place where I think that we diverge because while we're doing this, I have the slap just like a repeating GIF as the background of my computer. So I'm just seeing Phil getting slapped over and over again.
Okay.
So I'm deep into it right now, and I think that this one is one of my favorites of this slap montage, just because like Rita's face at the very beginning, you like really see the anger in her face. And this feels like one of the most forceful slaps. Like you can see Bill Murray like wince right before he gets slapped. And like she knocks him. Like he doesn't like it's just he just moves his head, but it looks like a really good slap. Like his face is red after this.
Okay, yeah. You're probably right. Okay. I didn't think about that, to be honest. Okay.
So I would give this one an 8 out of 10.
Oh, okay. All right. I like it.
And we talked about I've been asking everybody, Phil spends an awful lot of time trapped in his own Groundhog Day. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of varying theories of how long that he was actually trapped over the course of the movie. But, what's your thoughts on that? How long do you think that Phil was trapped in his own Groundhog Day?
Okay, I'm going off of my personal theory. There is an answer to this, and I'm sure you know this, and I'm sure you're going to talk about this. Somebody actually calculated this, but before I saw that calculation, I do have my own theory. I felt like he did at least from if I take in everything we see, and then there's also there's possible days that we don't see. I'm gonna say he did at least maybe 3 years worth of Groundhog's Day, like around 3.5 years maybe, of just February 2nds, like over and over again.
Yeah, and there have been a lot of there's been a variety of different people who have claimed to analyze it based on the things that he does in the movie, but it's one of those things where it's difficult to really analyze it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people go with the 10,000 hours, which anymore like that whole 10,000 hour thing has kind of been debunked more or less.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, that's not the one that I saw, but yeah, I'll just say the one I saw said 5 years, but I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if it's that long.
Yeah, there's been a few different ones because there's been like a few that have like really narrowed it down, just based on the things that he can do. But all of those, you just have to give a rough estimate of how long it would take Phil Connors to actually learn these different skills, and you don't know really like at what level he is in any of the skills and what sort of natural talent he had beforehand, because if he had some natural talent ahead of time, it could have sped up the process. And some of these things, other than the piano, because we see his first piano lesson, so we see exactly where he starts out.
Right, exactly.
But everything else, he could have had some sort of head start. Like, he could have taken French in high school, and so he's just doing more of a refresher.
And he is a meteorologist. Like, that's kind of a science. Like, yeah, he's doing it on TV and he's a TV personality, but that, he's still studying weather. You know what I mean? Like, that's not like, he's not just a regular reporter. Like, everyone thinks he's just a regular. No, he's a meteorologist. He's got to study weather patterns and all this stuff. And you got to kind of go to a school for that. You got to be a little smart to do that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think I could be a meteorologist. I'm not that smart. So he's got some intelligence. He might be kind of a jerk, but he's a smart jerk. And so I think I think he would pick up on stuff quickly. I think he would learn quickly. You know what I mean? I don't like the piano thing. He might only have needed like maybe a month worth of time loops to learn the piano.
Yeah. That's a good point that he is really a smart person. I've made reference to him having a good memory because he has to keep everything in his head because he has nowhere to write things down and look back at them. So he's got to keep everything just in his head.
And he's able to track the wind. I mean, keep that in mind. Like, he just stands there and he's like, wind blows, dog barks. Like, he's got to remember that down to a T. So, yeah, he's got to have a damn good memory.
Yeah, although, you mentioned that, and especially him being in the context of being a weatherman, I think it would have been funny if they'd have, like, during that scene, he was like, wind blows, how it feels about, 20 miles an hour from the east.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That would have been hilarious.
And, we're still stuck in slap territory. And so let's power through on to the next slap. So, for everybody else listening, why don't you go ahead and remind everybody where they can find you online?
Yes, absolutely. You can find me on Twitter at Famous Comedian. I got a podcast called Whatever with Jason Soto. Is a comedy podcast. You can check that out on Anchor, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts from. Or you can go to rabbitholepodcast.com. That is where you can find every podcast I have my hand in, whatever, top 5 A through Z, Between the Scares, whatever, anything that I'm involved in will be there at rabbitholepodcast.com.
And as always, I'm Bubba Wheat from FlightsTidesAndMovieNights.com, where you can find written reviews of over 500 superhero and comic book movies. You can find this podcast, It's Time to Rewind, on Anchor.fm, as well as anywhere else you can find podcasts. So I'm going to go get some aloe for my cheek.
I'm a god. Well, what if there is no tomorrow? I'm a god. There wasn't one today.
In this episode, we're discussing Phil's 15th Groundhog Day that starts at 56 minutes and 27... Damn it. That's what I get for reading.
I hear you, man. I hear you. It's rough to do that. I got you, man.